And last and certainly not least, Miss Deborah Willet, who will be talking about grand families.
Hi, I'm Deborah Willet. I'm the program coordinator. Closer. I'm the program coordinator for Grand Family Connections of Chester County. We're a program under the Coatesville Center for Community Health. And grand families is a term that some people are not familiar with. Grand families are grandparents, aunts and uncles, other relatives and non-relatives who are raising children who are not their own, but they are taking care of them, most often because of the opioid epidemic, substance abuse, mental health, and or incarceration. So these are children that they did not plan on raising who are in their temporary care. Our why is the children. In Pennsylvania, there are over 259,000 children living in households where a relative is the head of that household. And for every child who's being raised in a kinship relationship in the foster care system, there are at least 10 of these families for every one who do not have the child welfare system involved. So they are not getting any kind of financial support, navigation support, emotional support, or whatever. In the last 5 years, we have helped over 130 families here mostly in Coatesville, but in other areas as well. This little guy, I want to share a personal story about. This little guy has suffered trauma from before he was born. He is a victim of domestic violence. He was moved around and moved around and moved around until he was 14 months old. And at 14 months old, his paternal grandmother reached out to me because she saw our flyer for our support group. And she said, I need someone to help me. She says, I can't do this. I have my own limitations, and I need someone to raise him. So a week later, he's in my home, and I have had him for 4 years. He has attachment and abandonment issues, and he is just the sweetest little guy. I tried to get children and youth to help me because I had no idea, even though I was a family mentor and knew how to navigate the systems. This was a whole new system that I had no idea how to navigate. And this woman here, many of you may know, is Freda Maddox. She's our current sheriff, who's going to be one of our common police court judges come the first of the year. She stepped out and said, I will help you pro bono. And that's just what I needed. So 2 years ago, I ended up adopting him. And so the children are our why. And our ask, we have a small and a large ask. Our small ask is for $2,500 for these caregivers to be able to purchase Christmas presents and wrap them for the children in their care. That's one thing they have asked. They said, we did it for our children. We'd love to be able to do it for our grandchildren and our nieces and nephews as well. And our large ask is to build capacity so that we can somehow work with attorneys that can help our grandfamilies get the legal custody that they need. Without legal custody, they cannot enroll the children in school, they cannot seek medical attention, and they cannot get mental health services for these children. And this is the first step, and most of them, since they've not planned on raising these children, they do not have the finances to pay for legal fees. We have reached out, legal aid has helped, but often there's a conflict because the parents of the children have already used the services of legal aid, so the caregivers cannot use them. The children, our challenge is all of these children have come from trauma, or else they would be being raised by their families. We've partnered with a Child's Light, and they have been able to get fast trauma-based therapy for these children. Many of our families are struggling to meet basic needs, so they cannot enjoy activities that a lot of families do. So we provide family engagement experiences. We've done Treehouse World. We partnered with the Department of Chester County Drug and Alcohol and a Child's Light. We've done a drum circle. We've gone on a hayride. Our gap analysis is, our large ask is for attorneys who would be able to assist our caregivers at reduced rates and guidance on how to do the custody arrangements for these kids. Our solution, we offer information and peer support. Before I adopted the little guy, I was raising my granddaughter. I've had her now for 14 years. I've the lived experience to help them. We do a support group. We have a youth worker who also has lived experience of being raised by her grandmother for several years. And we have a provider network where we meet a couple times a year, and we invite the faith-based community, the educational community, the county assistance, county systems, the federal system, all to these meetings to learn more about the unique needs of these families. And we are the only program in Chester County working with these families. Other families like this that have child welfare, they have that. We work with the families. I mean, we will work with them. We will help them if they have child welfare, but most of our families do not. Our benchmark is by December 15th, we hope to be able to distribute the gift cards to the grandparents. And we hope to have extra money to find attorneys and provide support for our grandfamilies, connect the families with the attorneys, and increase the number of virtual support groups, because it's hard sometimes for the grandfamilies to get out to in-person meetings, just from sometimes the sheer number of children they have. We have caregivers raising as many as 8 grandchildren. Our caregivers range from 29 to 83, with the average age being late 50s and 60s. And our team is Catherine Spurlock, the Executive Director of the Coatesville Center for Community Health, myself as the Program Coordinator, and Odessa Perez is our amazing youth worker. And that's my contact information. I know.
So how many families?
We've worked with over 130. The numbers that attend the support group are not nowhere near that amount, but our numbers are increasing more and more. Out of that 130, I should have counted how many we've had this year, but the calls are just coming in. We have schools that are referring us, mental health services are calling us. We have one school district that asked if we could provide a support group in their district, even just for their families. So a lot of families.
Glad you're there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Equally grateful not only for what you did for your granddaughter, but also for that little guy. Yeah. So, do you provide support in the home, or is it through your support groups at all?
It's through the support group, and also a lot of it is over the phone.
Okay.
They call me, and I speak to them over the phone. I have met them. I've been in a few homes, but that's not the majority of the cases.
Great presentation. I love the small ask and the big ask concept. I assume if people can put you in touch with pro bono lawyers, you're open to that.
Yes, definitely.
I will do some reach out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for this. It's very important. I worked in the foster care system for internship, and so I see the effect that it does have on children being separated from their parents, and then, you know, on the families that are caring for them. So I love the idea of giving them some extra help around the holidays to give the children a good Christmas. So thank you for that. I would love to know more about your company.
I would love to. 5 minutes isn't much time.
But thank you. I didn't have any questions.
So you mentioned this would be utilized for gift cards. Do you have an idea of like how much would go to each family? What type of gift cards you'd be giving?
We're looking probably at Walmart, so it could be a combination of toys, food, clothes. And also we may do like Wawa, because a big ask we've had lately is for gas cards. The numbers, we're trying to figure out how many children we have and what the numbers we have, and to be able to divide it up, you know, that way.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love this concept and all the work that you're doing. Just piggybacking on what some others have already said, I think that there's definitely probably a lot of resources out there that hopefully you know, the panel and some of the people here can help you with connections regarding either pro bono lawyers or just gift cards, donations, things of that nature for these to make sure the kids have, you know, holiday presents and so on and so forth.
Really, thank you.
So one other thing, I've seen it, and sorry, I just thought of it as others were talking. I've seen it work well if it's just for the holiday gifts for the kids. If it's the adopt a family, the kids request, I want a Tonka truck, and that's what the folks buy, and then it's one less step that the family has to go through to go out and buy it, etc. So there may be some give and take as you guys maybe think about this on an annual
We have
basis.
done that in the past, and where we struggled is it's basically just me. And so trying to go and pick up all these donations and get them to one thing, it's a bit, I only have a Jeep Patriot, so not too much fits in the back of it. But also, some children would get a lot, and some would get very little, and then in the same family. And then I'm trying to rearrange everything, and all that. And we had one grandmother say the child had asked for something and she ended up getting 4 of the same things. So this way it gives the grandparents something to do for them, which they like doing. Yeah.